Hey there besties! Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're continuing our recap of the manhwa, The Glamorous Life of the Fake Mistress. If you're new to this series, check the description below for links to previous episodes. Lastly, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoy the video. It really helps our channel grow. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started.
Sally stood frozen, breath catching as Duke Esteban leaned in, his eyes locked on hers.
"It's sensual," he murmured.
"So much so, that I want to kiss you."
Her heart skipped. "What?" she thought, startled.
"He's not really going to kiss me, is he?" Her cheeks warmed, but before she could process the moment, he pulled back slightly.
"Yes. Your dress."
"That's how enticing it is."
Relief mixed with confusion. "Right.
The dress, it's just the dress."
She told herself not to read too much into it.
She knew better. He wasn't the type. And yet, his gaze lingered longer than usual. "It seems I wasn't much help again," Duke Esteban said as he turned to leave. "No, you helped," Sally replied.
He paused, glancing back. She smiled.
"You helped immensely." Later that day, Sally took Margaret to a boutique filled with elegant designs. "Miss Sally, what is all this?" Margaret asked, uneasy as she stared at the rows of dresses. "These are all yours to try on," Sally said with a warm smile. "Each one was selected just for you."
The boutique staff bowed politely.
"Thank you for visiting, lady. We'll provide the best service possible." Margaret blinked, overwhelmed. "I'm meant to wear these." Before she could protest further, Sally clapped her hands. "Our goal is to make you irresistible enough that Marquis Lionel will take notice. So, let's begin. First, let's remove your makeup." Margaret hesitated, fingers brushing her cheek. "But, these styles suit you, Sally. You're tall, elegant, confident. I don't have your presence."
Sally shook her head gently. "That's not true. Your features are delicate and striking."
"Trust me, nobles value uniqueness, and you have it. You agreed to do everything I say, didn't you?" Margaret recalled Sally's words from days ago. "I'll help you win Lionel over, but you must trust me completely."
She nodded slowly. "Yes.
"I remember." "Good. Then let's get started." As the boutique staff worked, Sally watched closely. Margaret had removed her makeup, her natural features now visible under the soft lighting.
"You have beautiful skin," Sally remarked.
"And your eyes, they are quite rare. With the right makeup and dress, you'll see a version of yourself you've never imagined." Margaret remained quiet, watching Sally browse through dresses with the salesman. "She's putting in so much effort for me," Margaret thought.
"All right. I'll trust her."
That evening, Duke Lionel was in a secluded part of the city with a noblewoman. "Leaving so soon?" she asked, resting her hand on his sleeve.
"There's work to be done," he replied.
"We'll meet again soon." He kissed her hand lightly, though his expression had already grown disinterested. "I was going to see her one last time, but
I'm already bored. It's over."
Back at his estate, the butler greeted him at the door. "Welcome home, my lord."
"I'm more tired than usual," Lionel muttered.
It was a complicated matter.
As he entered, he frowned. "Where's Margaret?"
"She usually greets me."
It unsettled him more than he expected.
"Is she ill?" "I've heard nothing of the sort," the butler replied. His concern growing, Lionel headed to Margaret's room and knocked. "Margaret, it's me. Are you well?" Her voice was calm from behind the door.
"I'm not ill."
"Why do you ask?" "Then, may I come in?" "You may." He entered, and froze. Margaret stood at her vanity, elegant in a form-fitting dress, her makeup enhancing her delicate features, her hair styled neatly. She turned to him with a soft smile. "I hope your trip wasn't too tiring."
Lionel stared.
"You seem very different."
"I made a few changes," she said as she rose.
"What do you think?"
He looked her over slowly.
"You're very beautiful. More than I've ever seen." Margaret's smile held steady. "I think so too." Something shifted in his eyes, admiration, perhaps even longing. He stepped forward and took her hand, pressing a kiss to it. "Margaret, after 3 years of marriage, I didn't think I'd feel this way.
But now."
She gently pulled her hand away. "Do you remember what you said before we were married?"
Lionel blinked. What? You said we were marrying to fulfill our roles. That we'd respect each other, but not interfere. You said you wouldn't be a loyal man. His expression darkened as she stepped back. I've decided to live the same way, she said quietly.
I'll take a lover of my own.
His eyes widened. What are you saying?
I'm simply following the rules you set. The next morning, gossip buzzed through the Esteban manor. Did you hear? One maid whispered. Lady Camura is hosting a fashion show.
Where'd you hear that? Her companion asked.
My cousin works in her household. It's true. I hope Miss Sally wears one of her dresses again, another maid said, face lighting up. But the chatter halted as someone approached the entrance. Isn't that Lady Camura? A maid whispered, peeking behind the flower bushes. Lady Camura approached gracefully, greeted by Evan at the door. Welcome, Lady Camura, he said.
It's been a while.
You're as handsome as ever, Evan, she replied warmly. The maids continued whispering. Why is she here? Maybe to deliver a dress to Miss Sally. I hope she invites Sally to the show. Daisy added, cheeks flushed with excitement. Inside the drawing room, Lady Camura sat across from Duke Esteban. It's been a while, Your Grace, she said. You summoned me again. But where's Sally? I thought this was about her. There's no need. I called you to pay for your services, Esteban replied calmly.
She raised a brow.
Oh? For the dress? I received your note, but no amount was listed.
He recalled their earlier exchange.
A rush order?
That's not how I work.
This will cost you dearly, she'd said.
Name your price, he had replied.
Well, Esteban said. What's your price? There's nothing in this empire the Esteban family can't afford. Lady Camura leaned back with a sly smile. Oh, I'm not asking for money.
He narrowed his eyes. Then what? Her eyes sparkled with amusement.
I want you, Your Grace, to model my clothes. Esteban stared, taken aback. What? Lady Camura placed a document on the Duke's desk. I'm organizing a fashion show for my winter collection. It includes a new line of men's clothing, and I want you to model it, Your Grace. The Duke didn't hesitate. I decline.
Camura's eyes widened. What?
Wait, it's just a brief appearance. You won't even be the main model. Esteban raised a brow, already turning away. You expect me to be a supporting act?
Yes, she replied without flinching. He scoffed. I'm not interested. Camura's voice sharpened.
Are you going back on your word, Your Grace?
But Esteban remained indifferent.
I'll pay for the dress at 100 times the usual price, he said, rising.
Camura folded her arms.
I'm not interested in the money. If you think I'm being unreasonable, feel free to take legal action, she replied coolly. She had expected resistance, but his stubbornness was worse than anticipated.
Still, she had one more card to play.
The main model is going to be Sally.
Esteban stopped in his tracks.
What? Camura smiled slightly.
Got him.
She hasn't mentioned this, he said, frowning.
I haven't asked her yet, but she'll agree.
It's her chance to wear my dresses freely. Esteban imagined Sally's delighted expression, spinning in one of Camura's designs. A rare sight, one he didn't want to miss.
Camura watched him closely. She's not lying, he muttered.
Then she added, if you say no, I'll find another model, handsome, elegant, and he'll be spending a lot of time near Sally.
You're fine with that? Esteban's jaw tightened. You don't know me well, he said. I don't act on emotion.
But, this is an acceptable cost.
He returned to his desk and signed the agreement. Camura beamed.
Wonderful. But only if Sally agrees, Esteban added.
Camura blinked.
What? Esteban stepped forward. Don't tell her about this arrangement. I don't want her accepting out of obligation. If she says no, that's the end of it.
That's a lot to ask.
Esteban cut her off. Given how one-sided your request is, I'd say it's fair.
Camura paused, then forced a smile. All right.
I accept.
She won't refuse. They are my dresses. And I'm Camura.
At a lively social gathering, a group of noble women whispered near the dance floor. Did you hear about Marquis Lionel? One said. They say he's been chasing after his wife lately.
Another gasped. Really?
Look, there he is. Across the room, Margaret Lionel danced gracefully with another gentleman. The Marquis stormed toward her, visibly upset.
Margaret.
What are you doing?
She turned calmly.
What's the matter? We're free to dance with whomever we like. But still, the Duke.
He shot a glare at her dance partner.
May I speak with my wife? I can't let her fall for someone else, he thought. Excuse me, the gentleman said, stepping away. Stop following me, Margaret said, brushing past her husband.
Margaret, the Marquis began, tense. She turned back.
I'll be angry if you keep this up. Nearby, the women watched with interest. Lady Lionel, what happened between you two? Someone asked.
Margaret smiled faintly. It's simple.
My husband can't handle how well I've changed.
How did you manage that?
To be honest,
Miss Sally helped me. Sally?
The Duke's mistress. Yes.
A few women exchanged looks.
One admitted quietly, she helped me, too. You as well?
I've received her advice as well.
Me too.
They fell silent, surprised.
She never spoke of any of us, Margaret thought. I used to think she was unrefined, one said, but clearly, that wasn't true. Exactly, Clara added softly. The others turned to her. Clara, you've changed too. You look healthier, Margaret noted.
Clara blushed. Do I?
Your skin's glowing, another woman added. What's your secret?
Clara hesitated.
The memory of the previous night with her husband flashed in her mind, and her cheeks turned red.
Oh my. Clara, are you feeling unwell?
Your ears are bright red. What? Well, she stammered as her thoughts raced.
You're trembling, someone exclaimed.
I felt faint this morning, Clara said quickly.
I think I should head home. My apologies.
Take care, Margaret said kindly. As she stepped outside, Clara exhaled slowly. Why did I remember that now? At the carriage, her coachman greeted her. My lady, leaving early.
Yes, she said.
Before we go, send a message to my husband. Tell him to come home as soon as he can. In her garden, Elise admired a particularly vibrant bloom. This one bloomed beautifully, she said softly, her eyes tracing the delicate petals. But her moment of calm ended when she noticed Evan and Lady Camura speaking by the castle entrance. If you could wait in the reception room, Evan began. Camura raised an eyebrow, folding her arms with a slight smirk.
I don't have time for that. Tell me where she is right now, she insisted.
The Duchess approached them, her tone warm but formal.
Camura, it's been a while.
Are you here to see me?
Camura smiled politely.
Oh,
Duchess Esteban.
Yes, I came to see Sally, but apparently she's not here.
Evan won't say where she is. Do you know?
The Duchess smiled knowingly and looked at Evan.
So, you're here for Sally.
Evan, why make Camura wait? If you know where she is, tell her.
Evan flushed and nodded quickly.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
But the Duchess cut in, teasing.
Camura, why don't you visit me more often?
Were you waiting for a visit from me?
I thought you disliked my dresses since you refused the one I made last time.
Camura raised an eyebrow.
That dress, I had a strong vision when I made it, dark but alluring. I stayed up making it, hoping to see you wear it one day, Your Grace.
Marsa scoffed nearby. What are you talking about?
It was just a black dress, the kind you wear to funerals.
How could she ask that?
The Duchess silenced Marsa with a look. Marsa, watch your words. Then she turned back to Evan. Evan, take Camura to Sally.
Now.
Camura smirked triumphantly.
See, Evan? Stop making excuses.
Let me see Sally.
Elise chuckled. She just has to get the last word.
Then her expression grew serious.
Marsa, find out why Camura is meeting with Sally.
I want every detail, she said softly. At a cafe, Lady Margaret and Amy sipped tea. Really? You still haven't spent a night with the Marquis?
Amy asked, wide-eyed. No.
Not since I changed my style, Margaret replied, a faint blush on her cheeks. Amy leaned in, whispering. But I heard Marquis Lionel has incredible stamina. He even cut off all contact with other women. Sally interrupted, amused. Marquis Lionel must be suffering.
But you mustn't waver.
You only get what you want after a long wait, Lady Margaret, Sally said cheerfully. Amy added with a grin.
The Marquis deserves it. Think of all the times he made you suffer.
Now's your chance to put him in his place. Just then, the cafe door opened, and Camura entered confidently.
Good afternoon, everyone, she called out.
Surprised, they all looked up. Oh, it's Camura. What is she doing here?
Sally sipped her tea calmly as Camura approached.
Sally,
I visited your mansion twice but couldn't meet you.
I ran here as soon as Evan told me where you were, Camura said brightly.
Whispers spread.
Camura looking for Duke Esteban's mistress?
Interesting. Sally stayed polite. This is sudden.
I have an appointment with these ladies.
Margaret and Amy nodded.
I'm fine, Miss Sally. Me too. Camura smiled wider. Then all three of you should come to my atelier.
Curious, they followed her.
Only a few have been to Lady Camura's atelier, Amy whispered as they entered the elegant showroom. Camura led them through the room, where luxurious fabrics and intricate designs were on display. Oh, did you make this ribbon yourself? How lovely, she said, admiring Amy's accessory. Amy smiled shyly, proud nonetheless. The dresses from Auntie suit you well, Margaret. You look wonderful, Camura complimented. Margaret blushed, smiling. And perfect.
Bravo!
Camura exclaimed, clapping as Sally examined the garments. Still puzzled by the visit, Sally finally asked. Lady Camura, why were you looking for me?
Camura brightened.
I'm thrilled. Sally, would you be my model?
Sally blinked.
For what?
Camura's enthusiasm was clear. I'm planning a show for my winter line. Mannequins can't do justice, so I want you to model the dresses.
I've already chosen the male model, His Grace, Duke Cassius Esteban. Margaret and Amy exchanged stunned looks.
Sally remained composed but thought, I hadn't heard about this. Camura continued excitedly.
Imagine, His Grace in a vest and tailcoat of my design, you in my newest dresses.
People will see how a dress truly shines when worn by its owner.
I've already made 3 dresses inspired by this vision.
Amy and Margaret gasped.
3? I heard making even one dress takes a lot of effort.
Camura smiled confidently.
So, Sally, isn't this a great opportunity? Will you join me? Sally hesitated, weighing the offer. Being Camura's model would bring influence, maybe help expose Elsie's true nature.
But this isn't a decision to make lightly. Please give me some time, she said. Camura pouted playfully. What's there to think about?
Are my dresses not enough? She dropped to the floor, feigning distress. But my designs won't look right on anyone else. Should I just hide with these dresses?
Sally's friends whispered among themselves.
Being Lady Camura's model, that's something everyone would want, Amy said softly.
I'm not sure I want to talk to His Grace about it, Sally admitted.
Camura sighed, patient but slightly frustrated.
All right.
I suppose I don't have a choice.
Then she brightened.
If you become my model, I'll gift each of you a dress.
Margaret and Amy gasped in surprise.
Really? But they are so precious.
Camura smiled warmly. You're Sally's friends.
It's the least I can do.
Finally, she turned to Sally.
So, what do you say?
Amy and Margaret looked at Sally hopefully.
Sally folded her hands, considering.
That night,
Duke Esteban soaked in his bathtub, calm. He stared at the ceiling, pondering.
Will Sally agree to be a model? I'd prefer she didn't. Then her smile flashed in his mind. No, it's not a bad offer.
The show might be useful, he thought. The next morning, Duke Esteban entered Sally's room quietly. She was lying face down, back bare, receiving a massage.
He froze for a moment. I should have knocked, he thought, caught off guard.
Your Grace, it's a pleasure to, the masseuse began, but Esteban raised a finger to his lips, signaling her to stay silent.
He stepped closer to Sally's side, watching quietly. His eyes narrowed slightly. She looked relaxed.
I almost disturbed her for nothing.
Did Camura send the masseuse?
Please let me know if anything feels uncomfortable, the masseuse said softly to Sally. She asked me to take care of you until the show ends, the masseuse added as the Duke sat down nearby, observing. Sally responded calmly, thank you. Then she turned her head and noticed Esteban.
When did you get here? She asked. Just now.
You look like you were resting, so I didn't want to interrupt, he replied. I see you accepted her request, he said. Sally hesitated briefly before nodding.
Yes.
I didn't want to say no. She was holding the minds of two very determined ladies hostage. Esteban raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Camura must have pressured her somehow, he thought. I'll have to look into that. But there's another reason, Sally said with a small smile, almost sitting up. It's something I'll be doing with you.
What? Esteban's heart quickened.
Miss Sally, please turn over, the masseuse said gently, and Sally complied.
I've made many new friends lately.
Being known as Duke Esteban's companion and Camura's model could open doors in high society. Did that influence your decision? The masseuse asked, continuing to work on Sally's tense muscles.
Your muscles are tight here. I'll help you relax, she said softly. Sally sighed in relief. Thank you.
She's right, Esteban thought. This is an opportunity to strengthen Elsie's position. Not the time to worry about how Sally looks in Camura's dresses. Still, his mind wandered. She's lying there so vulnerable, right in front of me. It feels like she's ignoring me, as if I'm some powerless man who's never touched a woman. Just lie still for 5 minutes, the masseuse said kindly. Your Grace, would you like a massage? She's very skilled, Sally offered, glancing at him. Esteban carefully adjusted the cloth covering her back. I don't let anyone touch my body, except you, he said quietly. The masseuse covered her mouth in surprise, tension visible on her face.
Sally's heart sped up. Why is he acting like this all of a sudden? Is it because of her? She wondered. The man before her didn't feel like the Duke she once knew. Later, in the bustling atelier, chatter filled the room as Sally and Esteban arrived. Welcome, Sally. Welcome, Your Grace Esteban. Lady Camura greeted them warmly. A beautiful couple in my atelier, she said softly. Can we get started? Esteban asked briskly. Oh, right. Not the time. I'll take your measurements first, Camura said, quickly pulling some fabric. Please change into these outfits in your rooms. The fabric is thin, so be careful, she added, handing them each a dress. As Esteban changed, a loud scream came from Sally's room. Did something happen? He thought, rushing out. He found Lady Camura holding Sally steady, helping her into the dress. Oh my, your chest looks bigger. Camura exclaimed. Sally tensed. Camura? How could your chest grow while your hips stayed the same? Did His Grace Esteban pay special attention to your chest every night? Camura teased uncertainly. No, I think it's from the masseuse you sent me, Sally replied. I've had massages for years with no effect. Maybe some are just born for it. Camura joked. Why is she so forward? Esteban thought, rubbing his temple. After measuring, Camura sat down to sketch. Oh, yes. Like this, she murmured, absorbed in her work. Artists are amazing, Sally whispered, watching. What's so amazing? Esteban asked, his eyes drifting toward Sally's chest. Where am I looking? The way she loves her work. That's what I envy, Sally said. She's so invested. Doesn't she look happy? Honestly, I find her frankness a bit much. All you need is duty and responsibility. I don't see why anyone has to love their work, he said. Sally looked at him uncertainly. This is how he always is, wealthy and powerful, but never truly happy. Everything is a burden he bears. Maybe that's why I held on so tightly. I wanted to be someone he could lean on. Her mind flashed back to her previous life, how she told him every day, I love you. Yet no matter how much she tried, he never fully looked at her. He never truly noticed me. His coldness hadn't changed. Though lately, he showed unexpected sides, probably only because of the divorce with Elise. But that's not my concern anymore. My role ended the moment they divorced, she thought quietly. Lady Camura began coaching Sally as she practiced her modeling. Good. Walk gently, Lady Camura instructed, clapping her hands softly. Like a maiden greeting the spring breeze. Don't look at the floor, raise your chin. Be confident. Sally did her best to match the poised walk Lady Camura wanted, her steps becoming smoother with each round. You have a turn here, Lady Camura said, her smile growing. You need to twirl your skirt gracefully. And now, wonderful. You understand exactly what I mean, Sally. Sally smiled modestly, a slight flush on her cheeks. It's thanks to your guidance. Lady Camura leaned closer, her voice quieter, curious. Is His Grace Esteban busy these days? Sally nodded. Yes. He left early yesterday and returned late.
He might not make it today. Well, Lady Camura replied softly, His Grace is known to be dedicated to his work. I'm grateful he's come to some practices, even briefly. Sally started to respond. He doesn't really need to attend since his, but was interrupted by a calm, low voice. I don't need to attend what? They both turned, surprised, to see Duke Esteban entering the room, arms folded. Your Grace, Lady Camura said, startled. Esteban's expression was steady but firm. The Esteban name is involved.
I can't treat this lightly.
Let's finish the session, he said gently.
Shouldn't you join me up here?
What if you make a mistake on stage because you skipped practice? Sally asked softly, a small smile playing on her lips.
I'm tired.
Let's finish quickly, the Duke replied tersely.
Why come at all if he's this tired?
Lady Camura wondered, noticing his cold stare, though Sally didn't seem to notice. They watched the session quietly. One afternoon during tea, Lady Grace held up an invitation.
Look at this, she said brightly.
It's from Lady Camura.
Gasps filled the hall.
Oh my, isn't that an invitation to her show? One woman asked. I heard she's introducing a new dress line, another added eagerly. Lady Grace handled the envelope with care. May I? A noblewoman asked.
Of course, but be careful, Grace replied. I'm so jealous, one whispered.
I hear this show is by invitation only. Yes, many want to attend. She must have sent all the invitations, said another. Oh, I really wanted to go, a lady sighed from the back. There's going to be a real model this time, someone said quietly.
A real model? Voices rose in excitement.
I heard she's a beautiful woman from overseas.
No, she's from here, another corrected. But a commoner.
Lady Camura found her on the street and invited her to model. Whoever she is, someone said, she must be beautiful, chosen by Lady Camura herself. Sally listened quietly, swirling her tea. People are more interested than I thought.
I need to work harder. Training resumed. Lady Camura clapped.
Good.
Your walk is perfect. Now let's practice the finale.
The last dress represents a woman's seduction. The couple exchanged uncertain looks.
Lady Camura turned to Esteban.
Please, sit there, Your Grace.
He did, stiffly. Like this?
Lady Camura frowned.
Too stiff. Sit as you normally do.
How do you mean?
Esteban asked.
Well, she said, you always sit arrogantly. He paused, then relaxed naturally into the chair.
That's it. Perfect.
Lady Camura cheered.
She faced Sally.
Now, walk to His Grace and seduce the arrogant man.
Sally blinked. Seduce Duke Esteban?
Of all people.
She steadied her breath. It's just acting. Like when I danced.
She touched his shoulder gently, their eyes meeting. But his gaze held steady, and her steps faltered. Maybe I shouldn't have come today.
This is frustrating, he thought.
Lady Camura's voice broke through. Enough. Too superficial.
Your smile lacks honesty. Again. She didn't stop.
Again.
More feeling. Finally, Sally paused. I need fresh air, she said.
Lady Camura sighed.
All right. Break time.
Betty, get us some coffee. Esteban approached Lady Camura, serious.
You said you want a smile that seduces men.
That smile was seductive enough, wasn't it?
Lady Camura raised an eyebrow. I can't believe you said that with a straight face. What a man. He didn't react. You just proved it didn't seduce you, she said flatly.
I want a smile full of emotion, a seduction that wants not only the body but the man's heart and soul.
Her eyes sparkled with challenge.
Even you, Duke Esteban, wouldn't keep a straight face with a smile like that.
Don't be ridiculous, he said.
Impossible, even with magic. Let's call it here, Lady Camura muttered. I don't think it'll get better.
I agree. Sally, let's head back, Esteban said.
You go ahead, Your Grace, Sally said.
I'll practice some more.
I don't want to end without progress. Esteban studied her tired eyes.
She looks worn out, but that's her drive. Fine, he said. I'll send a carriage when I get back.
Come when you're ready.
With that, he left.
Shall we finish?
Sally asked Lady Camura. Nope.
Coffee first, Lady Camura said with a smile.
They sat with tea.
Tired of my standards?
Lady Camura asked. No.
You're amazing, Sally replied. Thank you, Lady Camura said, thoughtful. A dress means a lot. It shows a family's wealth and a woman's beauty.
It's armor to win the man's heart. She looked at Sally.
I want to see the feeling behind dressing up. A seduction that feels like a confession.
She paused.
Have you ever felt that, Sally?
Sally looked down.
I did once, but I'm afraid. Afraid those feelings will consume me again, falling in love again, she thought. Lady Camura's gaze softened.
The Sally I know is confident and fierce.
What's holding you back?
She leaned forward.
Sally, will you hear my story?
Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. If you enjoyed what you watched, please consider liking, subscribing, and ringing that notification bell. Your comments mean the world to us and help us improve. The next episode promises even more excitement and unexpected twists, so stay tuned as we embark on this thrilling journey together. Keep the anticipation alive, and we'll catch you in the next episode.